Hey, it's Jesse Eker, founder and CEO of Build Your Brand Online. We help entrepreneurs build seven-figure brands using the power of virtual events. I want to give you a quick look behind the scenes of what our mentorship and flagship program looks like. If you have any questions at all or you want more information on this mentorship program, comment events below and we'll be sure to reach out to you. Enjoy. Personal preference. So what do you think your energy is going to be like after? Do you feel like you're going to be okay to do it? Do you feel like you need an extra week? Because the extra week doesn't really matter.
The way I kind of saw it in my head was by the time it ends, I know I haven't gotten to this part of the lesson, but you inferred that there was going to be some additional stuff going on in my group talking about the program. I kind of, in my head, wanted to offer a bonus day because I realized after I started putting things on my whiteboard and I already had my banner made, I was like, ooh, I kind of left out one of the pillars. So I feel like it would be a prime time to do a little bonus day training.
For sure.
And because of the price of my program, I too would like to encourage them to make those phone calls. I want to make sure I have the right people in this group who are ready to move forward, who are very serious. So I feel like for me and my schedule to have that extra 5 or 6 days to talk to people and get them prepped and ready, then I can kick off on the 5th. So
yeah, you definitely need extra days after the event. Like that's a really important part. And the different types of sequences is you can go live, you can make posts, you can send emails, you're gonna send messages, right? That all takes time, right? Mm-hmm. And so that follow-up is important. That's where the fortune's in the follow-up, right? And so you wanna give yourself ample enough time. What I'm talking about though is your energy going to be replenished enough after you do the event and do the follow-up to then start right after? Like, or can you give yourself a week to breathe where you end the event, you do the follow-up, you unplug for a couple of days, you relax and just like get your stuff together, and then you have a kickoff call maybe the following week where then you get started. What I'm saying is I want to protect you, okay? And that's the most important part here is the first time you do this, it's going to be like an energy zap, right? Because you're doing it all. And that is, it's a process, right? As you do more of this, it becomes more predictable on your cash flow and your cash. You'll have people doing some of the more time-taking tasks, I guess. It won't be as much of an energy zap. So for me, like I show up and talk, right? I don't do the sales calls. I don't do any of that. I just talk and I smile and I laugh, right? That took a long time to get here, right? So, my energy is very different now after events than it used to be, right? It used to be like, oh, whoa, that was intense, right? So what I'm saying is like, I don't want you to overcommit and be like, oh, I don't want to deliver, like I need some time, right? So what we usually do, what I always do is I take some time for myself and I just, even now I still replenish, right? I unplug for a couple of days, I say thank you to everyone, and then I come back when I'm feeling ready for it.
Okay, so with that being said, I agree 100%. And that makes me feel better because I prefer doing it that way. In the training, I'm going to guess, but I'm going to ask, is there suggestions? So let's say after the 23rd, slowly but surely, I have a few people who are signing up for this program.
Yeah.
What do you do with them in the meantime? Because you want to make sure that they still stay excited. They're, I don't want them to go through that, oh crap, that buyer's remorse concept.
Right.
That's what I get afraid of. And I want to make sure that that I'm engaging with them somehow. Do you have stuff that you're going to show us in this program?
So I don't necessarily have for this part of the program. What's happening is that's the fulfillment side, right? So I'll give you some insights and I'll seed what we have for you guys, when you continue on with us, right? So we're going to be moving you guys when you're ready to our program called Leverage. And leverage is basically the phase 2 of the on-ramp, right? So it goes on-ramp, then leverage. Leverage is about how do you create leverage with what you're doing. But most importantly, how do you create leverage in your business as on the fulfillment side? So we'll be having a workshop more or less to fulfill with bigger numbers, right? So that we know what's the onboarding process for when you have a bunch of people coming in so that you're not going through that, right? That's at more of a bigger scale. So let's talk about smaller scale, right? So what do you need to have set up? What you need to have set up specifically is you need to have some sort of onboarding, right? And so the onboarding can simply be a welcome email that says, here's what's going to happen, right? Next. That's it, right? And then you say in that welcome email, you could join you could possibly join a group that you have going for people to meet themselves, and your video can be there saying, hey, can't wait to meet all you, or not. You can have them, journal a bit, or submit something to you to say why they joined and do something like that. Or you can just have a welcome email saying, here's the steps to do. We start the kickoff call on this date. I am here to support you and help you in any questions you might have. And I can't wait to see you on this date. I'll send a couple more email reminders before that. It's all about, again, the expectation that you create for people through not only the sales call, right, that you have, but after they say, they buy, you say, here's what's going to happen next, right? So you tell them hey, we're going to have a call, or we're going to, whatever your process is. I don't know necessarily what the process is.
Well, all right. So that was my next question. Tori and I talked about what she identified was kind of like a no-brainer was, as you come into the program, we're going to spend 60, 70 minutes together one-on-one, and we're going to do a deep dive as to what your life is like, what your business is like, see if we can start identifying some of those hidden obstacles to best utilize this program.
Yeah.
So would that be a good use of that time from the 23rd till whatever?
Yes, it would be a very good time to do that. Again, let's just make sure we start doing it a time that you feel like you're ready for it.
Okay, so go ahead and take that break. And so in other words,
what you could do is you sell them, right? They buy, right. And then you can send them an email, or you can talk to them on the phone. Say the next step is we're going to book a one-on-one call, right? To game plan the program together. Let's book it right now, right? And you say that will start on X date, right? So you block yourself until July 7th, maybe, right? Okay. Just say, and anything after the 7th, you can start booking, and then you start the actual program the week after.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
so you
sense.
can do it on the phone. Yeah. Again, it's really all about expectations, right? People don't the main thing is everyone just want to make sure is no one wants to feel left out, left in the dark, right? And that's the main thing. So if you're super clear on really making sure that they don't feel like I'm alone, what's going on? Well, I just spent all this money and now I'm not getting a hold of them, and now we're not starting for 2 weeks and all this stuff, right? So that's one thing. The other thing too, Rhonda, and everyone, is the type of person you want to work with. Okay, this is just a bigger question and a bigger picture, right? Do you really want to work with someone who's so reactive to a decision that they're going to, in 3 days, have buyer's remorse saying I shouldn't be doing this, right? Is that really your ideal person? And I think when you're going through your discovery call, you can identify that and make the decision yourself with power and saying, hey, I don't think this is a good fit because I don't know if you're ready for it, right? They're committed, they're all in, they know this is the path they want to go. And so come home next week when we're starting to get ready, they're ready to go. They're not thinking about, is this the right decision or not? They know it's the right decision because their heart is telling them that. So you can get clear on that with them so that you get the ideal person working with you, right? I think that's a big one. So for us, we've made the mistake that we let anyone into the program, and that was a problem. So then we started to go hardcore qualifications. And the business has been so much better. It's been so much more simple and it's so much more joyful, right? Because you don't have people complaining, you don't have people doing, they're all on the same path, and they're all the type of people. They're not these reactive, like it's so reactive. It's like more, they're intellectual, they have more intuition to them. They have reactive moments, which we all do, but that's not their way of being, right? They know they're on a path, and that's the ideal person we want to work with. That's, you know, you guys, right? So yeah, so that's what I would, you know, really focus on too, is if you're starting to see that, it's like, look at how we're talking to them. Like, is this like a last ditch effort to like pay for mortgage, or is this a real leader that you really want to work with, right? And, you know, when you are clear about that, you attract that.